There are just some basic ideas that I want to cover today in regards to the emotional freedom technique, which is a technique that's like acupuncture for the emotions, but we tap instead of using needles. And if you're getting this video, it means that you've probably been through this at least once with me in my office. And what I've asked you to do is I've asked you to go home and do some tapping, and you can do it along with this video, or you can watch this video at least to refresh the ideas that I taught you while we were together. The first part of this is the setup. And for the setup, we're going to tap on this fleshy part of the hand right here that we call the karate chop point. You're going to take at least 2 fingers and you're going to tap right there. Some people like to tap with more, but 2 fingers. And we're going to tap on that spot. And as we tap on it, we're going to say 2 things. First, we're going to say an admission of feeling, and then we're going to say an affirmation. So the admission, you're going to tune into the memory. And I want you to be really specific. So just take a minute right now. If you need to pause this, go ahead and pause it and get a very specific memory. That, you know, if we're dealing with an emotion of anger, you want to think about the time that you were 9 years old and your little sister took your favorite toy. Okay, that would just be an example, right? You would want to be that specific. You're going to make a movie of this in your mind. And if you don't see real well, you're just going to imagine it however you do that or think about it. And as you do that, as soon as things get uncomfortable, you're going to pause the movie, and then we're going to do the admission and then the affirmation. So the admission might be something like this. Even though my sister took my favorite toy when I was 9, now that's the admission, and that made me upset. Now we're going to do the affirmation. I deeply accept myself and I'm ready to forgive the past. That would be the affirmation. So one more time. Even though my sister took my favorite toy when I was 9 and that made me upset, I accept myself and I am ready to forgive the past. Even though my sister took my favorite toy when I was 9 and that made me upset, I deeply accept myself and I'm ready to forgive the past. Okay, we do that 3 times. We're going to admit and affirm in that order. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to say a little reminder phrase as we tap on different points in the body. So we're going to take 2 fingers to do that. And the first place we're going to tap is right where the eyebrow begins at the top of the eye. I'm going to take off my glasses here so you can see better. And so in this case, the memory is my sister taking my favorite toy at the age of 9. So I would say that upset feeling when she took my toy. You tap a few times. The second spot is right on the outside of the eye, 2 fingers. That upset feeling when she took my toy. Now it's very important that I'm tuned into the problem as I'm doing this. Next one, 2 fingers right at the base of the eye, right at the opposite end of the eye from where the top point was. That upset feeling when she took my toy. Next is on top of the lip. That upset feeling when she took my toy. Bottom of the lip. That upset feeling when she took my toy. Next, make a fist. And right where a guy would place his tie, and you can see this real easy because I'm actually wearing one, I would say, that upset feeling because she took my toy. And then right across the chest line, 4 fingers underneath the arm, that upset feeling because she took my toy. So that's the entire sequence. Now, what I like to do as I'm doing this is I want to know when I'm finished. And so I use a subjective units of distress scale. That's a SUD scale. That's how bad do you feel about this memory when you think about it on a scale of 0 to 10. And so before we get started on this next round, I want you to tap with me here. And you might want to mark the time. I think it's 4 minutes, 25 seconds. We're going to do a round together. But first, I want you to pause this, and I want you to think of a specific memory that's been distressing for you to think about in the past. And when you have that, go ahead and unpause. Okay, good. Now, second thing, go ahead and get a pen and a piece of paper, and I want you to write down on a piece of paper how distressing is this memory, 0 being no distress and 10 being the most distressed I can possibly imagine. So write down something between 0 and 10 on your paper and round 1 next to it. So that's where we're going to start off. So let's say that it's a 10. Now I want you to think about that problem, that memory, that specific memory, make a movie of it, pause it as soon as it gets uncomfortable, and then I want you to tap with me. Now you're going to have to fill in some of this. Even though I have this memory of, now admit what you're feeling. I deeply accept myself and I forgive the past. It's once, let's do it again. Even though I have this memory of, and it makes me feel, I deeply accept myself and I forgive the past. Even though I have this memory of, and it makes me feel, I deeply accept myself and I'm ready to forgive the past. First point, now you're going to have to fill in the feeling, but this feeling of, this feeling of, this feeling of, this feeling of, tune into the memory, this feeling of, this feeling of, this feeling of. Now take a deep breath, breathe it out, go back to your piece of paper, and I want you to write down round 2, and I want you to write down where you are on a scale of 0 to 10. And then let's do this one more time. Now I'm just going to tap, and I'm going to expect you to do the whole bit. So I want you to both affirm, or rather admit and affirm. So let's start with the admission. And again, an example would be, even though I feel upset when I think about my sister stealing my toy at age 9. Okay, that'd be the admission. I accept myself and I forgive the past. That's the affirmation. So, okay, let's go ahead and do it. Go ahead, and I want you to do the admission and affirmation one time, even though. Okay, good. Now let's do it again. Even though. Third time. Even though. Be emphatic. Say it like you mean it. Okay. This feeling or memory. This feeling or memory. This feeling or memory. Tune into the problem. Be specific. Think about the event. Think about the movie. This feeling of. This memory of. This feeling of. This memory of. This feeling of, this memory of. This feeling of, this memory of. I hope that was helpful. Certainly, we can practice this a couple more times when we're in the office, but mainly what I want you to be doing is I want you to be tapping on very specific memories as you're working at home. So look forward to seeing you soon.